Welcome, everyone. My name is Ryan McCombs. I'm going to be one of your instructors for Summer A, Calculus 1, and I'm joined here by the other instructor, Joseph Melby, and just wanted to kind of do a quick intro video and also answer some of your questions and concerns and whatnot. We have here the intro survey responses, and thought we would go over those. So first, a little bit about myself. I've been teaching at MSU, it feels like forever. It's got to be like 7 years or so now. I also graduated from MSU. I like to say that I didn't make it very far in life as a unit of distance. I've been quite happy here, and my wife's from around here and everything, so there's always been a reason for me to stay. Let's see. I enjoy playing some video games. I've been trying to go outside and get exercise. I'm in this room here. Sadly, my cat right now has ringworm, and so that's been annoying. So we have her isolated off and have to sanitize this room and stuff, and I'm supposed to be careful. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
Yeah, I'm Joe. What am I now? I just finished my third year in the PhD program here at MSU. I've taught this class a number of times, and it's definitely my favorite class to teach. And it's just a lot of fun in the summer, especially. But I'm originally from Minnesota, but I moved here for graduate school, and now I don't know. I met my fiance here, and it seems like a cool place to be for right now. So,
is it in general warmer or colder here than in Minnesota?
Oh, a lot warmer.
Oh yeah.
So it's warmer, yeah.
Huh.
In general, if it's a really cold day, it's 10 degrees colder in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
So, if not.
Well, that's kind of a net positive, I guess. But
I like the cold. It's a lot better.
I do
you can
enjoy
always put more layers on. So
yeah, I enjoy the cold more than the hot, right? But it's been a couple of years now. But my wife likes to drag me places, and so one of them was Costa Rica, which I always have a wonderful time once I'm there and everything. But I'm also a person that kind of, if I just stayed home all of the time, I'd be pretty content, I guess. But yeah, so we went to Costa Rica, and like in the city and stuff like this, kind of in the middle of Costa Rica, it's fine. But then like on the coasts, it's very, very hot. At least it was when we were there, and a lot of sweating that went on. So, okay. Cool. Why don't we get into, so one of the questions that we asked the students here was, what is one of the things that the instructors can do to help you learn in this online format? And so I had started to skim these and whatnot, and I think that there's a lot of good ideas here, and I'm relatively happy to say that I think that we have plans to do more or less all of these. I mean, certainly some of these be very descriptive in examples and list out clear and concise ways to do problems. I know that that's certainly a goal that we always have.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And that's something that during these synchronous Zoom sessions, I'm going to be probably beating to death, is I'm probably going to be doing examples in more detail and slower than you want to follow them, but I'm going to. Yeah, that's the point. So.
This is maybe a good segue kind of into what the class will look like, right? So I've made some pre-class videos, and they go over all of the definitions and the concepts and the theorems, and they give you all the statements of these things, and I do like one or two very simple problems. In fact, one of the main critiques my videos get is that the problems are too easy, right? They're not representative of the quizzes and the exams because you're just getting used to the stuff, right? I can't give you the full strength problems, I can't give you the tough problems right out of the gate sort of deal. And so that's kind of, Joe, you're going to be doing the synchronous classes, and that's kind of where you come in, and you're going to be doing a lot of those more difficult problems, the full strength problem sort of deal, and really getting your hands dirty as far as how do you use these definitions, how do you use these theorems in order to actually solve problems that are reasonable to show up on the homework, the quizzes, the exams, life, right. I suppose.
And that's one of my goals, is to really, it's to ramp up what the videos kind of start with and really dig deep into all these examples. I want everybody to be completely saturated with examples by the time I'm done with these sessions. So
So I guess
Yeah.
maybe once we've more or less talked about one, so I think that that kind of ties in with this right here. Be as specific as possible in doing multiple practice problems. Um, Updates related, clear due dates. So I mean, yes, your videos will be recorded.
Yeah.
And I know, so we have the one time, so it's right, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 until 4. Um,
Yeah.
of course, the pre-class videos, they're already recorded. I made those a year or two ago, and so those are available. You can watch those at your leisure. If you can attend the live class, it's great, and we certainly want. And we understand that not everyone can attend the live class, but it's nice that if some students can attend, at very least, right, to ask questions, right, and they kind
Yeah.
of play devil's advocate and mention when things aren't clear. But yes, those will also be recorded, and those will be uploaded to D2L and whatnot. I see that, right, we asked where are you guys staying this summer. A lot of people, seems like the 2 to 4 time slot will be fairly convenient. Of course, jobs and other things will get in the way of that. But I also see we have one person from Gulf Standard Time, which I had to look this up. It's like 8 hours difference. So maybe this won't be a very convenient time for this person. And so, yeah, definitely recording the videos will be very useful.
And paired with that, we're going to have these, I guess, online office hours where you can come and ask questions and things like that. And we'll try to make those as accommodating to different time zones as possible. So
Yeah, and that kind of goes into, well, a few of these opportunities for explanation and asking questions. So, I mean, certainly our office hours are, I think we're branding them as help sessions.
yes, yeah,
And basically that you guys can stop in at these times and ask questions. We're kind of looking at the survey results. I know we're going to have some homework due on Tuesdays and Thursdays and whatnot. And so we're going to try to have those, and especially with the live class being on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sort of deal. Maybe this makes a lot of sense that we're going to try to have Tuesday and Thursday have a few help session times available. Let me see. So yeah, let's see. We've already talked about flexible timing for lectures, available to answer questions. And so kind of going into this always right here, we're also using these Piazza Forums, right? Of course, it'd be wonderful if we always had our camera on and our help session available, but we have a few other things to do as well, unfortunately. And
yeah.
so, yeah, the Piazza Forums are a great place that you can post a question, maybe when we're not having the help session hours or whatnot. And then Joe and I, we both get these on our phone and everything. And we're also going to have some extra helpers, I hear, as well, that the math department's providing a few extra people to kind of help with Piazza questions and things like this. So yeah, you have multiple people looking at this, and that's really where you're going to get answers the fastest. So let me mark off a few of these.
The other thing to note with that Piazza forum is we want students to interact with each other too. I mean, chances are if you have a question, another student probably has a similar question, and someone may know the answer. And it's what's ideal about Piazza is students can answer each other's questions. And that's what I really want to encourage, that especially because this collaborative part of the course is one of the most important parts of learning calculus. So
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, my experience with Piazza, because I've been using it for several years, I always, if the class doesn't have it, I usually almost insist on it because it's quite convenient and everything. And the times where the students actually interact with each other have been some of the most enjoyable times. Because kind of you get these ideas flowing back and forth, and then you can kind of also verify that, if you try to answer a fellow student's question, whether or not you're along the right line or not, because, us as instructors can go in and see what the answer was, and we can say, well, yeah, that's, 99% true, but you should also consider this, right? And kind of, it helps everyone grow a bit, which is quite nice. Let's see, during the spring semester, my math professor posted the notes and everything. It really helped. So yes, we're going to be posting everything.
yeah, I mean, and with these Zoom sessions, I'll have worksheets that I pair along with what I'm saying and some of the practice problems and stuff like that. Those will all be posted on D2L. Everything's going to be available all the time. So
Super. Actually, maybe this is a good place let me go over to our D2L site here really quick. And I just wanted to show you guys. So under content, I was looking at the schedule, and actually this brings up another question or point that another person had asked about. But so yeah, we have a relatively nice small list of boxes or whatever they call them, modules here. So we have the course info and syllabus, we have course videos and learning, and then we have assignments. So for instance, we were just talking about the course videos and posting things and notes and all that sort of stuff. And we're going to have it very conveniently just on one page. So we have videos and notes for chapters 1 and 2, and then later on. So this is the stuff that the midterm covers, by the way. And then chapters 3, 4, 5, those get included on the final exam. So if we just click on this, you can see you have the pre-class video, you have the pre-class notes, and then you have the pre-class videos to watch, right? And you can just click on these and it goes. And then after class, right? And by the way, things do take a little while, right? Once you're done with one of these Zoom sessions and you've recorded, it takes some processing time and everything. And so if you email Joe at 4:15 after class and say, hey, where's your video? Why isn't it up yet? It's probably still processing, right? And so, yeah, so after class, though, he'll post the video, and even before class, he'll probably post the notes just so you have access to
Yeah, I
these.
intend to post those beforehand.
So, yeah, this will
And
be
the other thing is all the notes I take during the actual session will be available as well. So,
oh, super.
in addition to the worksheets and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, in a previous semester, I've done, maybe we could rename these as blank notes. And then if you're going to be also posting the filled in notes, we could add even another category or something like this. So that way, because I know sometimes people like to have the blanks and follow along in the videos. But then also, sometimes you just need to kind of see the answer. And so that I understand that the filled in notes are also quite nice. So, okay, cool. So that's kind of where we'll be posting a bulk of kind of learning stuff. Let's go back here. So clear due dates. This kind of gets into the schedule quite a bit. And lots of updates and reminders. I'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, and connect with us via email. It'll be easy to reach. This one's nice. Add points already. Yes. So, okay. Clear due dates. Let me show you guys here. And there's a variety of ways. So we have this linked on D2L, and then we also have it via the syllabus, the weekly schedule document. And kind of this just shows you what the class looks like as a whole. So again, you can kind of see when you're trying to figure out which videos should you be watching, or what pre-class videos should you be watching in order to come to class prepared, right? You can see for this first Monday class, it'll be 1.4 and 1.5. That's what the lesson's on, and so you should try to watch the pre-class videos, of course, before that. That's how you're going to take the most out of the class, because Joe's just going to assume that you know what the average rate of change is, that you know what these limits are, right? Because these are what the videos cover, the pre-class videos cover for 1.4 and 1.5. And so in order to really get the most out of the class period, I mean, we talked earlier, I know you were planning on doing a little bit of a review, but
yeah, I mean, it'll be limited though. I'm going to assume that you've watched these videos.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly. We're not going to reteach. Otherwise, you're not going to have any time for, these full strength problems that we were talking about.
Right. Yeah.
You can see that we have quizzes on Sundays. Those are going to be open all day. We're planning on right now to have, they're 30-minute quizzes. And they're timed and everything. You saw probably when you're filling this out that we're using this Respondus software that MSU paid some money for and whatnot to help us with the proctoring issues and some academic integrity. But kind of you see where those are landing. We have a few projects. You can see right now the midterm. And so we're trying to be extremely clear of when everything is due. The only thing that you don't really see here, just because it would really clutter it up, is the homework due dates. And the homework due dates are just going to be every day kind of after the lesson. So I mean, kind of here's Wednesday on 1.6. The web work homework is going to be due the next day. And I know that it's a fast turnaround, but this is a fast-paced course, for better or for worse, right? I mean, we only have these 7 weeks. We have to get through all of this stuff. Right? We can't skip lessons or things like this, right? Calculus 1 has national standards. And so we can't just start cutting out things, right? Because that's not going to help anyone down the line, sort of deal. So I know it is fast paced, but I think by having these due dates, we talked at length, Joe and I, about, choosing, the due dates for the homework and everything. And the other thing is that, right, by finishing up the homework on Thursday here for 1.6, for instance, it kind of gives you that time to watch the videos for 1.8 and start to kind of prepare for this. Otherwise, you just kind of get backlogged because, again, this is a fast course. And so I think it's quite important that we kind of have things moving along, for better or for worse. Anything to add to that?
I think it's worth just mentioning the actual hour, like number of hours we intend this course to take. In a week. Yeah.
There's
it's in the syllabus, I think, right?
Yeah. So we found, and this kind of goes to one of the questions that we asked you guys as well, like how many hours do you spend on on this class? How long do you think you'll spend per week, sort of deal? And we found, with this being a 3-credit class and everything, that usually 10 to 12 hours per week in a normal semester is appropriate, especially if you've never seen the material before. If you've already seen some calculus, maybe this gets truncated down a bit and everything, but still, make sure you're putting in some time. Don't get ahead of yourself saying, oh yeah, I've seen that, I know it, sort of deal. Make sure you're really putting in the time and effort, because it's always really sad for people who have seen it. They think they know everything and they don't spend enough time and their scores aren't what they want. So don't fall into that trap either. But this is kind of for the normal, right, 15-week course, but we have 7 weeks, right? And that means that really everything's at double speed. And so you should be aiming for about this 20 to 24 hours. I was happy for some of these. Oh, not this one here. I say, so 2 to 4 hours. That's, if you can do it, I'll be very impressed. But yeah, I see some that, around 20 hours. I like this one, as many as it takes to understand. That's good. Enough to get a 4.0. I like that as well. So yeah, make sure that you have some flexibility. And I would definitely recommend to schedule. I live by my Google Calendar. I really do. And so kind of anything that I can put in there and say, okay, this is my time for this thing. So I would recommend for Math 132, you schedule specific hours. And then, well, in previous summers and stuff like this, I would say, if someone calls you and asks you to go do something, you say, no, I'm working on calculus, right? It's not as, right, people can't really call and ask you to go hang out so much these days. So
yeah,
sadly, but hopefully this will be good for the grades, right? Okay, so let's see. That more or less
I think
takes
that covers
care of
clear due dates and updates.
Oh yeah, so I'm going to be sending out weekly updates and reminders kind of on Sunday. My plan is to send out an email and kind of, in fact, you're seeing this video because of an email that I'm sending out. Right, today is Friday, so it's this upcoming Sunday or so. So yeah, I plan on trying to keep you guys prepared, keep giving you some checklists and things like this each week. So that's kind of connect with us via email, be easy to reach. I hope we're giving you guys lots of avenues with the help sessions, with the synchronous classes, with the Piazza Forums, with all this sort of stuff. We're trying to be easy to reach. Let's see, try to understand and answer specific questions on problems. Yeah, I think this kind of goes into the class periods and everything like this, and kind of understanding what you're asking and trying to respond to that. Kind of one thing that I will say regarding this is that sometimes on Piazza, people just post a question and they say, I don't understand how to do this. And that's it. And so I would try to push back a little bit against this, right? Because Piazza is not meant to, just essentially solve your problems, the homework problems or anything for you. You still need to put in legwork, right? And so we're going to definitely do our best to understand and answer specific questions, but we're also going to push back on you when we think it's appropriate and say, well, have you, tried this, or what would you think would be the first step? Or even if you're doing like some review or something like this, saying, well, what section do you think this is from? Are there any problems similar in the notes that maybe you could take and expand on? And so, yes, we will try our best to answer your specific questions, but we'll also sometimes answer with a question of our own, which
Yeah.
I understand is a bit
I
frustrating, but
mean,
also it's
yeah.
very important for the learning.
I was gonna say we're probably gonna be the frustrating to all of you at times because of the way that we might respond on Piazza or something like that. But like Ryan said, the point is you're supposed to struggle with this material, and you're supposed to struggle with it a lot in order to learn it. That's how everybody learns math, from what, well, at least in my experience teaching and learning math. That's how it goes. So
Yeah, yeah. It's the sweet spot, right? Because there's productive struggling, right?
yeah,
If it
yeah,
completely kills you, that's not so great. And if it's completely easy, then it's not memorable. You don't take anything away from it, right?
right,
But you want to hit that sweet spot of productive struggling. And so that's kind of when we give hints and everything, we're not just trying to make it really easy and solve the problem, but we're trying to get you into that window of now the student, can productively struggle with the question. We're giving them the
yeah,
right tools. And then, yeah, engage students in learning. I learn best when I participate and I'm engaged in the material. And so, yeah, this is very difficult when it comes to these online classes. I mean, and that's why, because we thought about not having any kind of synchronous class period, right? It's very easy to just make videos, post them online, and let them live there. And so, but at the end of the day, we said, no, I mean, even though it's an online class, we want to at least have some opportunity for the students to come to ask questions. And we found that that was very a valuable thing. And so, yeah, we're going to try to create opportunities for students to engage. We're going to have a project. There's going to be a little bit of group work. We're going to have you make a video at some point during the semester to kind of help review for the final exam. All of these things are talked about in the syllabus in a fair amount of detail, but certainly as they come up, we'll talk about them even more, sort of deal. But yes, we want you guys to be engaged. And certainly, from my own experience being a student, I agree with you. It's much easier to stay focused, to actually put in the time and the effort if you feel like you're being engaged. And so we want to do that. And if you have ideas for us, right, that's also a fine thing. That's why we asked, this very question right here. We want to make sure that we've thought about the things that will help, make it easy for you guys to learn. Well, not maybe easy, but reasonable, I guess.
and to add to that, I mean, especially during these synchronous sessions, I'm going to try my best to implement some type of like Zoom has some features that allow me to break people up into groups and have you communicate with each other, trying to work on problems, things like that. And so we're gonna try this out, and we're gonna hope that I hope that it works well. But the point here is that we want you all to interact with each other to some reasonable extent, and I want to get some interaction from you during these synchronous sessions. So I'm going to try to use the features that Zoom has to the fullest extent to do that. And
Yep.
it'll probably be awkward and weird and interesting at first, but we're going to get through that, and it'll make this experience a lot better for both me and all of you, hopefully. So
Excellent. Yeah. And again, this is, I mean, I've done some online classes before. I have, an idea of what to do and everything. But yeah, certainly we're both open to your feedback and your suggestions. And so we're not saying that, this is the perfect class, we have it figured out, sort of deal. If there's something that we could do that would help, let us know, right? Maybe, so a lot of these, there's no questions that some of these folks have for us. So that kind of knocks out a few. Oh, there's a few extra here. These ones should go a little bit faster. We've talked about a lot of this already. Will you be using Zoom, or will our lectures be pre-recorded? Well, as you've heard, it's a bit of both, right? So we're going to have pre-class videos, and we're going to have these synchronous classes via Zoom. If you're available to join, we would love you to come. If it just doesn't work for you, then certainly we're going to record those and post them and everything. Looking forward to a great semester. Us too. Thank you very much. Speed of the class can be worrisome. I plan on dedicating a lot of time to this class. That's good that you're already thinking about this. This is going to be a fast class. It is, at essentially double speed. And again, like I mentioned earlier, right, there are kind of national standards for Calculus 1. It's hard to trim it and, cut things out because, there's Calculus 2 and Calculus 3 and these maths, right, they build on each other. And so it's very hard for us to cut sections out. In fact, I think from the academic year to here, I think we were able to cut one section. I'm not even sure if I told Joe about this or not.
Oh yeah, I was wondering which one this is.
Let me double check here and see if, so 3.8 is normally in the academic year. It's about Newton's method, and we can eliminate this one fairly safely. But even then, someone might come back and yell at us. But for the time being, we're trying to eliminate.
You'll see it in Calc 4. So
there you go. You'll see it in Calc 4. Okay, and then is it possible to reschedule exams and our lectures going to be posted on D2L? So we've talked about the lectures being posted on D2L. Yes, everything's going to be posted on D2L. And then possible to reschedule the exams. And this kind of is excellent question, and it goes into our syllabus. So let me show you here on the syllabus. Again, the quizzes, these are available essentially all day. Once you actually begin it, you have a half an hour, but you can kind of take them anytime during the day that it's convenient for you. We were able to get this freedom, and I'm quite happy about that. For the uniform midterm and the final and everything, during the spring semester, there were some issues with academic integrity, to be quite honest. And we want it to be as fair for folks as possible. And so it was recommended that we have kind of a narrower window, right? And so that you saw on the schedule, maybe I'll, oh no, it's right here. You saw on the schedule that these have kind of specific times, right? 7 to 8:30. So that's going to be a 90-minute thing. And then the final exam here is from 7 to 9, right? So these, again, have specific times that you need to actually take those. But we understand that if you have kind of some, strange situation, or if you live in a sufficiently different time zone, like this Gulf Standard Time, for instance, then yes, it's possible that we can help you reschedule these things, right? And so in order to let us know this, right, we're asking, because we're trying to do this for multiple classes and everything, we're asking that you just let us know, right? You should do so at least a week ahead of time, so that way we can, because there's some administrative stuff, right, in order to actually set this up to run correctly. So yeah, we want to be as reasonable as possible. So please just let us know if you have one of these things. You can fill out this form. It's already live, and just tell us what's going on. It has a spot where you can provide some documentation and all that sort of stuff, and just let us know. But yeah, you could take care of this today if you wanted to as well, right? You don't have to wait until a week beforehand, because then you might forget. If you know that there's a conflict, right, you have all the dates, you have all the times, let us know this week. That'd be great. So, okay, that's that. I think the last thing, so we will continue to monitor these, right? This is the intro survey. It's worth some extra credit, right? So make sure that you do this, and kind of if there are any, questions that come up, we may make another video like this, or we may just email people answers, but kind of we may not make necessarily another video going over answers again, but we may. This may be, next Friday we may do another one, depending on how many new questions essentially there are. So anything else, Joe?
I have a couple points to add.
Okay.
I guess one thing in the syllabus we have some there's some stipulations saying things like, well, we're cutting out 5% of this section of the grade, for example, or dropping a quiz, and the purposes of this is to accommodate unexpected things or certain like special circumstances. I think we should make sure we clarify that we mean like this is meant to be an accommodation for unexpected things that happen or specific or some special circumstances. So if something comes up, that's the point of this. It's not just as a buffer on your grade necessarily for the sake of it. It does have a lot of reason behind it. So
yeah, and there's kind of to add to this, right? This is supposed to take care of, right? It says any special circumstances. When you click on that, right, it takes you to this excused absences, and it talks about how this 5% drop is supposed to account for, and it's a pretty big, basket of things, right? So most special situations such as weddings, short-term illness, work, emergencies, job interviews, funerals, travel, technology issues, sporting events, club events, sorority and fraternity events, etc. And then it talks about, well, if, in extreme cases, we'll consider those on a case-by-case basis. Certainly things like late ads, religious holidays, military obligations, things like this are kind of in a bin of their own. But yes, this is supposed to account for sickness, or if, you have a family reunion, or you have some other, Zoom meeting that you need to attend to and that you can't quite get your homework done. So this 5% is meant to account for a lot of things, because otherwise, frankly, the administrative burden for, doing, all of the exceptions can be quite large. And essentially there's two of us. And so we need to, that's kind of why this policy was suggested to us, and is in use in, some other classes as well, to kind of, if you have anything weird happen to you, if you have your internet go out, right, that would be a technology issue. Then that 5%, that's where that comes from, right? And you weren't able to do, a few problems that you otherwise would have been able to do. And so the same thing goes for, we have some participation, we have attendance, right? You kind of see there's a lot of these 5% drops, just as Joe mentioned.
Yeah. And I guess my last point is we are putting a lot of material online. We're using a lot of technology, and everything's going to be available so that you can learn on your own time to some extent. But I really encourage you to, if you can, to take advantage of the kind of synchronous meetings, the in-person interactions, these Zoom help sessions and stuff like that. Learning calculus takes a lot more than just doing the web work and plowing through the notes and stuff like that. It's a matter of interacting with the material in a variety of ways, and the best way that I feel that you can do that is to take advantage of opportunities to interact with this material in different ways. And so if you possibly can, please come to these synchronous meetings and things like that, because they do make a difference in learning, in my experience. So
I think that's an excellent place to end it. That's definitely the take-home message that I want people to have. So why don't we cut it there? Thanks everyone for watching and spending the time. And yeah, if you have any questions or whatnot, post on Piazza or send us an email. But again, if you post on Piazza, you get some participation points. So I recommend posting any questions there.